What are people saying this morning about what has come from the president? Are we hearing from the Ramaphosa government?
Well, you know, just yesterday, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, addressing Parliament, stated that access to land for the poor would be done in an orderly fashion and, of course, within the constraints of the Constitution. So the president's spokesperson has come out quite strongly saying that the presidency seeks clarity on President Trump's tweet, and as well stating that it is rather unfortunate as it comes at a time when the president himself of South Africa, Ramaphosa, is trying to really drive up investment and increased investor sentiment. So such an alarmist tweet has not been received well at all by the South African government.
Is there a fear that sort of South Africa ends up getting caught up in what is happening elsewhere around the world? Trump tweets and then he follows it up with kind of financial sanctions or something else. Is there a fear that that is now going to happen to South Africa?
Well, judging by the knock we've seen against the rand, we would definitely say that there are those fears, there are those perceptions of whether South Africa may find itself being collateral damage, if you might say, you know, on wars that U.S. President Trump is fighting elsewhere. We saw what happened in Turkey just a couple of weeks ago and how their currency was hard hit. And of course, there are other factors that are weighing on the rand, but certainly sentiment seems to be one that drives the rand quite hardly. We saw that it depreciated 1.7% against the dollar after Trump's tweet. And of course, this comes at a time when Cyril Ramaphosa is really trying to steer investment into the country, also trying to make sure that he really boosts economic growth, an economy that's been struggling to grow at a pace similar to its emerging market peers. And of course, that really high unemployment rate also being one that has been a challenge for the government. So this certainly doesn't seem to bode well for sentiment within South Africa.